Rogue Sun, issue number 6 from Image Comics. So I've done a review for every single issue so far, and I've pretty much crapped on all of them for good reason. I stand behind all my criticism of this series. I will say, however, that this issue is a step in the right direction. So this is probably the first issue where I'm not going to completely crap all over it. Uh, so yeah, we start where we left off from the last issue, where Dylan, our hero, is having a confrontation with his mom. And it turns out his mom is the one who killed his dad. Yeah, his mom basically sold a piece of her soul or something for powers that she used to kill Dylan's dad. And now she wants to use those powers to take away the Rogue Sun powers from Dylan, because she doesn't want him to end up like his dad. And so we basically have just a confrontation between the two of them. And the dad also gets involved. So the mom's trying to convince Dylan to give the Rogue Sun powers to her so she can get rid of it. Dylan's dad is trying to convince Dylan to destroy her, to destroy his mom. And Dylan is refusing, obviously. And he's basically trying to not give the powers away, but also not have to kill his mom. The mom, who I've mentioned in the previous video as being the most likable character in the series so far, I still kind of stand behind that. Though I will say that this one kind of feels out of character for her. And I'll get to that in just a moment. The mom's saying, like, your father is not the hero that he tries to play himself off to be. I bet he's saying that a bunch of bad things about me and that I'm the bad guy, right? Well, why don't you ask him how he made his money? And he tries to use the excuse that, well, his new wife's family is very wealthy. And she says, you know, if he's trying to tell you that his new wife's family is wealthy, well, that's a lie. Your father got rich by stealing from the supervillains he's taken down over the years. Bank robberies, stash houses, you name it. He always took a little piece because he thought he earned it. And I don't know if I actually consider that to be a terrible thing. I mean, if you're robbing from the villains, to be honest, if I was a superhero, I'd probably be doing the same thing, not gonna lie. Like, I'd probably be pulling a Punisher. I know Punisher, like, he went after mafiosos and he, like, robbed from them and, you know, took their weapons, their jewelry, their whatever he can, and that's how he made his, you know, his living and stuff. And that's how he kept funding his punishing empire, whatever you want to call it, his revenge. I would probably be doing the same. Like, I'll just be honest. Like, if I stopped a bank robber and I was a superhero and I thought I could get away with sneaking a few bucks, I probably would. But yeah, I guess it's just the fact that he's trying to portray himself as this 100% good guy that rubs me the wrong way. I never liked Dylan's dad. Dylan's dad has never been portrayed as good at all. To me, he's just always come across like an a-hole and an unlikable a-hole. Even in the Supermassive verse, I didn't like his character. I thought it's a character that's pretty annoying. But yeah, I mean, he even comes out with this phrase where he's like, I left you because I had to, but I left your mother because I wanted to. But then how come in the last issue you were portraying it like you had to do it? Like something came, like they said it so like it seemed like Marcus had to leave his family. Like something, you know, if he didn't leave his family, something bad was going to happen to them or whatever. That's what it kind of seemed like. But here he just pretty much admits, no, I just didn't like your mom. I wanted to leave her. So if you want to just leave her, why did you have no connection to your son? The one time you wanted to have a connection with your son was when you basically wanted to groom him to become the next Rogue Sun. So she even points it out, like, the only time your father wanted anything to do in your life is when he wanted something from you. Like, the only time he never showed up unless he needed something, because that's what he does. It's the only reason he came back. And so, yeah, we have a moment where I guess Marcus gets so pissed off that he takes a swing at his wife, but because he's a ghost, he can't do it. But this emotional outburst is able to somehow puppet Dylan into punching his mom. And so that pisses Dylan off because now Dylan's like, you know, stop trying to control me like I'm some kind of puppet. But yeah, this is where the mom's like, all right, I'm done arguing with you. Give me the power. And then she starts using her powers to hurt Dylan. And basically, she starts burning him. And she's going to, I guess, burn him to death unless he hands over the power. Because she even says, you have to choose between me and your father. You know, I know you'll do the right thing. And this is where I was like, this is a little kind of out of character. The whole point of her getting these powers is to protect her son. She did all this for her son. She did this because she didn't want Marcus getting involved in her son's life, because he didn't want to get involved in his life for good reasons. He wanted to get involved in his son's life because he wanted to groom him to become the next rogue son, which is a life that she didn't want for him because she knew how destructive it was. And yet now she has no qualms with killing her son as long as it stops him from becoming the rogue son. Like, it's just weird. It's just like, I'm hoping that maybe they say it's like the powers corrupting her mind or something. They don't mention any of that, but it just seems really weird that she's doing all this for her son, and now she has no problems hurting. And the powers, it doesn't straight out say she's killing her son, but the power she's using on her son is hurting him, is burning him. And Marcus even mentions that this is how she killed me. She used these powers to kill me, to beat me before. Now she's using it on you. So it kind of, it's setting up that she's going to kill you if you don't do something. So he uses his black fire powers and knocks her out and takes her to the woman whose name I forgot, the warden, who, why do all black female characters have to look like this? They either have the big afros, they have the sizes of their heads shaved, or they have the super short bleach blonde hair. Like the reporter in the Radiant Red miniseries looks exactly the same with the glasses. Anytime you have a black woman with short bleach blonde hair, she has to be wearing glasses. It's just a weird trope that I see a lot. But yeah, Dylan takes his mom to the warden so that she can put her in a crystal. And then Dylan tells his dad to beat it. Like, he's like, we had an agreement. The agreement was that I would help you find your killer. And once I did, you would be gone. You would leave. And Marcus tries to say that he's not. He tries to renege on that deal. He's like, I'm not going to abandon the world I've spent my entire life protecting. This is the thing that's weird. Like, it's not like I'm going to abandon you. I'm not going to abandon the world I've spent my entire life protecting. Rogue son is too important. So even here, it's like the dad doesn't really care necessarily about Dylan. He cares about the rogue son more than his own son, which is just, again, I don't like Marcus as a character whatsoever. But yeah, Dylan's like, no, you're going to do exactly what I say. You're going to leave. I don't care if I'm going to be in this alone. We had a deal. You're gone. Leave. And yeah, Marcus calls his son an arrogant prick and disappears. And now Dylan is on his own. Dylan no longer has Marcus around to help him. Dylan no longer has his mom around to provide for him. So Dylan is now on his own. The new wife of Marcus, the rich woman, Juliet, shows up and offers him a place in her house. And so we're going to see how that goes, how that's going to change things. So yeah, I say I like this new direction because it feels like Dylan is finally, I don't want to say maturing or anything like that, but we're finally getting something out of him. Because before, it always felt like Dylan was just an observer in his own series. He didn't do anything, really. It felt like all these villains were being set up to introduce or give more backstory to another character. So we had like the swamp creature to give more backstory to the half-brother. We had the wolf to introduce the warden and the sister later on. So the first time was to introduce the sister. Second time was to introduce the warden. Not introduce, but to give more information on the sister. Second time was introduced to warden. We have the Demonica, the soul eater, whatever the hell her name was. She was introduced so that Dylan's mom can pop in. And finally, Dylan is able to face a villain and not grow for the better, but grow as a character in the sense that now we get more from Dylan. Now that we don't have, his dad around hogging the spotlight, now that his mom's out of the picture, now that things are different and he's on his own but living with this new family, it's an interesting dynamic that I'm looking forward to see where they go with it, and I'm hoping it continues to be better. Like, basically what I'm trying to say in my weird roundabout non-scripted way is that they're finally doing things with the hero, and that's all I wanted. All I wanted was for this hero to stop being such an observer and to actually do something. to actually play a part in a series. It's called Rogue Sun, so give me Rogue Sun. Stop using the Rogue Sun to introduce all these other characters. I don't mind world building, I don't mind introducing characters, but don't introduce all your other characters and their backstories and their history and their personality and all that stuff before you even touch on the main character. The main character should be the focus. He should be the focus of all the chapters, or he should be the main focus of the story, and then the other characters should be introduced, and how does their life and their backstory stuff play into Dylan's. Where here it felt like the other way around. It was like, how does Dylan fit into this character's background, or if that's making any sense. It's just finally we get to see more of Dylan. We get the story more revolved around him. We have big changes that I'm looking forward to see where it goes. Please keep doing that. Don't let Dylan be an observer in his own story. I will say that I'm still not a fan of the Dylan character. I mean, I like the fact that like he's not too big of a pushover. I don't know if it was a good idea to banish his dad, but I mean, they made a deal, and he stuck to it. And I like the fact that he's not so forgiving of his dad, because I wouldn't be either. This is a man who abandoned you and your family to live in poverty, and he only came back because he needed something out of you, and that was to groom you to become the next Rogue Sun, because in the Supermassive he saw a vision of himself dying soon. So he knew that Dylan had to take over, or was going to be taking over soon. So that's the only reason he got involved in his son's life. And even since then, he seems to care more about the Rogue Sun image and PR than he does about his own son's livelihood. Like even here, he has no problem trying to convince his son to kill his mom. You're trying to convince your son to kill his mom for revenge against you, who's never done anything good for Dylan. Like you've never done anything to help Dylan in his life at all. So it's just, I guess what I'm just trying to say is we got rid of a very unlikable character. And so, yeah, this is a chance to bring in either a new character and make them better, or please, for the love of God, write some of these existing characters and make them better. Because this series still suffers from not really having characters all that likable. And the one character that I did find somewhat likable or somewhat relatable, the mom, well, she's now gone. Like she's now trapped in the crystal, so we're not going to see her for a while, I'm assuming. So it's kind of like, all right, well, we need someone to step up to the plate now. We need someone else to take the reins and become a better character that I can actually root for. So Dylan, this is now your chance to grow. You're now on your own. You can't just slack off. But yeah, overall, a step in the right direction. So if all the other issues I would say were subpar, I would say if I were to grade him, I would give him like D pluses. This one I'll say is a C. It's an average issue. Hopefully he gets better. Like I said, this is a step in the right direction, and hopefully he continues to build upon this and get better and better and better, because I've mentioned in all the other videos, but I really want to like this. I love tokusatsu stories. I love stories about characters fighting monsters and demons and stuff. So the fact that you combine the two here is something that's really up my alley. So I want this to be good. I want to enjoy it. I haven't been able to enjoy it in the past. I did enjoy a little bit of it right now. So hopefully that trend continues, because yeah, I really want to like this. So hopefully it continues to get better and build off of this, and we'll see. But there you go. There's Rogue Sun, issue number 6. Probably the nicest I've ever been to this series. But the series is finally giving me some changes that I want. So hopefully it continues in that direction. There you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. What did you think? Do you agree, disagree? But yeah, hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what did you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that bell for a notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.